For the second part of our review, before we get to our assignment, I'm going to look at making this a little bit more real life and talk about where the algebra can be used to represent real life scenarios. So here we've got renting some big heavy equipment to do some construction job. So to rent a backhoe, it costs $25 per hour and $100 for the day. So a flat rate of $100 for the day, and then $25 for every hour that you do it. A dump truck costs more. It costs $150 daily flat rate, plus $30 per hour. So what we're going to do, you can just write down the answers to this. You don't need to write down all the questions. But the first one says, write an equation to show the charge for one backhoe to work N hours. So here's how I'm going to calculate this. I'm going to have a big B for the backhoe and say if it's $25 per hour, that 25 has to get multiplied by the number of hours, N. But it's not just $25 per hour, it's $25 per hour plus a $100 flat rate. So only the N changes the number of hours that you play, but the $100 doesn't matter how long you have the backhoe. So then what would the equation be for the dump truck? So we would say, okay, it's $150 right there just to rent it, plus your $30 per hour, 30N. So that can go right here. But when I write it down, I'm going to just change it so it looks like the other one and write the 30 hours first plus the $150 flat rate. Okay. So we have our two expressions that now represent real life situations. The backhoe is 25 times N plus 100, and the dump truck is 30N plus 150, so more expensive. So now I'm asking, what expression would we use to show the charge for 4 backhoes to work? So we've got a big job, and one backhoe is not enough. We need 4 of them. So this is the cost structure here for one backhoe. What would the cost for 4 of them be? Well, we're going to take 4 times the cost for 1. So there's our expression for how much it would cost for 4 of them. But of course, we're going to simplify this expression, simplify using the distributive law, using rainbow. So we'll be able to get an expression for 4 of them. So we rainbow 4 times 25N. Well, 4 times 25 is 100N. And then that's the first rainbow. And then we multiply the 4 by that, 4 by 100, and we get 400. And if we stop and think about this, this number makes sense. If it's $100 per day for each backhoe and I rent 4 of them, it must be $400 per day. And if it's $25 an hour for each backhoe, but I got 4 of them, that's $100 each hour. So this expression makes sense, and it's good that the algebraic rule of rainbow and distributive law makes sense to what we're doing. Now we can go even a step further. Now I'm interested in writing an expression that shows 4 backhoes, which we just did, and 3 dump trucks. So the first part of this is going to feel just like we had. So 4 backhoes, remember backhoe is 25N plus 100, plus we need 3 dump trucks. So here's the formula for dump trucks, and we need 3 of those. So 3 dump trucks, which is 30N plus 150. So again, in order to do this math, so I've got a really, really big job. I want to know what the price structure would be because look, I want to rent 4 backhoes and 3 dump trucks. I don't want to have to do the math separately. I'd like to have one expression that I can use to do this math really quickly, because I might want for 6 hours, for 2 hours, for 8 hours, and it's much easier to simplify first. So let's do our rainbow. This is just like the rainbow we just did above. So we already know this part is 4 times 25 is 100 N, and 4 times 100 is 400. That part is just like what we did. But here we're now going to rainbow 3 dump trucks. So the 3 times the 30 is 90 N, and 3 times 150 is 450. And of course, we can simplify further because we have like terms. We have 100N and 90N. So 100 plus 90 is 190N. And then we've got our flat rates of $400 for the 4 dump trucks, and $450 for the 3, sorry, $400 was the backhoes, $450 was for the 3 dump trucks. Add those together and we have a total of $850. So now we have one single expression that describes the entire costs that will be occurred for renting 4 backhoes and 3 dump trucks. All that's left is to figure out how much time we're going to rent it for. But when I'm figuring out the price structures, I don't know how much time, so I just let it be N. In the last question then, we've determined that, okay, I know the price structure. I want 4 backhoes, 3 dump trucks for 6 hours. So when we see 6 hours, this means that N is 6. Well, instead of having to work them out separately, we have one single expression that describes this. This is 4 dump trucks and 4 backhoes and 3 dump trucks reduces down to 190 times N plus 850. The 6 hours gets substituted. BedMess tells me to multiply first, so 190 times 6 is 1,140 plus the 850 in flat rate, which gives me a total of 1990. And since this is a word problem, I'm not just going to go 1990. I'm going to actually answer the question and say it costs $1,990 to rent 4 backhoes, 3 trucks for 6 hours. All right. So these questions are sample questions from an assignment that you're going to do now. So your supply teacher has the instructions for the rest of today, and this assignment will be the next time that we see you. But do take advantage of these videos and these notes to go back to and refer to for when you're completing your assignment. The notes will be on Google Classroom, and this video will be on my YouTube channel. So make sure you refer to these to complete your algebra mid-unit assignment. Good luck.